The iron gate groaned as it slowly opened, breaking the heavy silence that had settled over the mansion for years. The black car rolled forward at a cautious pace, its tires crunching softly against the gravel driveway. Inside, the man sat still, his hand resting on a leather suitcase, his gaze fixed on the house ahead. 5 years. 5 years since he had last seen this place, since he had walked away from everything it held. Back then, he had left in anger, in grief, in a desperate attempt to outrun memories that refused to let him breathe. Now, as the car came to a stop, he realized those memories had been waiting patiently for his return. He stepped out slowly, his polished shoes touching the ground with quiet certainty, though his heart told a different story. The evening sky burned with shades of orange and gold, casting long shadows across the massive structure before him. The mansion looked exactly the same, perfect, untouched, almost frozen in time. Yet something felt off. It wasn't just the silence, it was deeper than that, something he couldn't immediately explain. He adjusted his coat, more out of habit than necessity, and took a few steps forward, his eyes scanning every detail, the tall windows, the balcony where she used to stand, the garden that once bloomed under her care. A sharp memory hit him without warning. Her laughter, light and genuine, echoing through the house. The way she used to call his name from the doorway, teasing him for working too much. He clenched his jaw, forcing the image away, but it lingered like a shadow he couldn't escape. This house had been their dream, their sanctuary. After she was gone, it had become a prison of reminders he couldn't bear to face. That was why he had left. Not because he wanted to, but because staying had felt like slowly drowning. He reached the base of the steps leading to the main entrance and stopped. His grip tightened around the suitcase handle as if it were the only thing grounding him in that moment. The air felt heavier here, thick with everything he had tried to forget. For a second, he considered turning back, getting into the car, and leaving again, disappearing into the life he had built far away from this place. But something held him there, something invisible yet powerful, refusing to let him run this time. Then he heard it. At first, it was so faint he thought it was his imagination, a soft murmur carried by the wind. He frowned, tilting his head slightly as he tried to listen more carefully. The sound came again, clearer this time. Voices. Small, quiet, unmistakable children's voices. His body stiffened instantly. That couldn't be right. No one was supposed to be here. He had made sure of it. The staff had been dismissed years ago, and the property had remained locked and undisturbed ever since. His heartbeat quickened as he slowly turned his head toward the direction of the gate. For a moment, he saw nothing, just the fading light and the outline of the tall iron bars. But then, as his eyes adjusted, 2 small figures came into view. They stood just outside the gate, close to each other, as if drawing strength from their presence. A boy and a girl. They couldn't have been more than 7 years old. He stared at them, confusion washing over his face. What were children doing here? How had they even gotten to this place? The area was isolated, far from the city, far from anything that would bring them here by accident. A strange unease crept into his chest, mixing with curiosity and something else he couldn't quite name. He took a slow step forward, his gaze fixed on them. The children didn't move. They simply stood there, watching him. There was no panic in their eyes, no attempt to run away. Instead, there was something almost unsettling about the way. They looked at him, like they recognized him, like they had been expecting him. A chill ran down his spine. He moved closer, his footsteps echoing faintly in the quiet evening. With every step, the distance between them shrank, and the details of their faces became clearer. The girl clutched the boy's hand tightly, her small fingers wrapped around his as if she was afraid to let go. Their clothes were simple, slightly worn, but clean. They didn't look lost, not exactly. They looked purposeful. He stopped a few feet away from the gate, his brows furrowing as he tried to make sense of the situation. His voice, when he finally spoke, was steady but edged with confusion. "Who are you?" he asked. The children didn't answer immediately. They exchanged a brief glance, a silent communication passing between them. Then they looked back at him, their expressions unchanged, calm, almost too calm for children in their position. And in that moment, something inside him shifted. He didn't know why, didn't understand how, but he felt it deep in his chest. As if this encounter, as unexpected and strange as it wasn't just a coincidence. It was the beginning of something he couldn't yet comprehend. The silence between them stretched longer than it should have, thick with uncertainty and something deeper that none of them could yet explain. The man stood just inside the gate, his hand still resting on the cold iron, while the two children remained on the other side, close enough to reach, yet separated by more than just metal. The fading light of evening softened their features, but it could not hide the intensity in their eyes. They were not looking at him like strangers. There was recognition there, quiet, steady, almost unsettling. He studied them carefully now, his earlier confusion slowly giving way to a strange, creeping awareness. The boy stood slightly in front, as if trying to protect the girl, though he was no older than she was. His posture carried a seriousness that didn't belong to a child. The girl, on the other hand, held on to him tightly, her small fingers gripping his sleeve, but her gaze never left the man's face. It wasn't fear that filled her eyes, it was something closer to hope. "We've been waiting for you." The boy's voice broke the silence, soft but clear enough to cut through the stillness like a blade. The words landed heavily, echoing in the man's mind. Waiting. For him. His chest tightened, and for a moment, he forgot how to respond. Nothing about this made sense. No one knew he was coming back, not the staff, not anyone from his past. He had kept his return quiet, almost secret, as if he himself wasn't sure he would go through with it. Waiting, he repeated, his voice lower now, more cautious. His eyes narrowed slightly as he searched their faces for some kind of explanation. "How do you even know who I am?" The children exchanged another glance, as if deciding something silently between them. The girl took a small step forward this time, pulling slightly away from the boy but not letting go completely. The movement was hesitant, yet determined. She tilted her head up, looking at him more directly now, and there it was again, that strange familiarity, that unexplainable connection that made his heart beat faster. "Because," she began softly, her voice almost trembling, "we had to find you." The word sent a ripple through him. Find him, not meet him, not stumble upon him, find him, that meant intention, that meant purpose. His grip on the gate tightened unconsciously, his knuckles turning pale as his mind raced to make sense of what he was hearing. A thousand possibilities flashed through his thoughts, each more unlikely than the last. "Who sent you?" he asked quickly, his tone sharper now, though not harsh. "Where are your parents?" At that, something shifted in their expressions. The boy looked down briefly, his jaw tightening as if the question had struck something sensitive. The girl's grip on his sleeve tightened again, and for the first time, a hint of sadness flickered across her face. The man noticed it immediately, and it only deepened the uneasy building inside him. "We don't have anyone else," the boy said quietly, his voice losing some of its earlier strength but not its certainty. "Only you." The man blinked, taken aback. That is not possible, he replied almost instinctively, shaking his head as if to reject the idea before it could take shape. You must be mistaken. But even as he said it, doubt crept in. He looked at them again, he looked this time. The shape of the boy's eyes, the way the girl tilted her head slightly when she spoke, small details, insignificant on their own, yet together they formed something disturbingly familiar. His breath slowed, his thoughts becoming heavier, more difficult to control. A memory surfaced, uninvited and sharp. His wife, standing in the soft morning light, her hand resting gently on her stomach, a quiet smile on her lips. The conversation they had never finished. The plans they had barely begun to make. He had left shortly after her death, cutting himself off from everything, refusing to face what came next. He had told himself there was nothing left here for him. But now, his gaze returned to the children, and this time, he couldn't ignore it. The resemblance wasn't just in his imagination. It was real, undeniable, and it sent a wave of emotion crashing through him that he wasn't prepared to handle. His voice, when he spoke again, was no longer steady. What do you mean, only me? The girl hesitated, then slowly reached into the small pocket of her dress. For a second, the man's heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear anything else. She pulled out a small, slightly worn object and held it out toward him through the bars of the gate. It was a photograph. He stared at it without moving, a strange fear gripping him from the inside. Something told him that whatever he was about to see would change everything. The world he had carefully rebuilt over the past 5 years, the distance he had created between himself and this place, the pain he had buried, it all felt fragile now, like it could shatter with a single glance. Slowly, almost reluctantly, he reached out and took the photograph from her trembling hand. And in that moment, the past he had tried so hard to escape began to catch up with him. His fingers trembled as he held the photograph, the edges worn as if it had been handled many times, perhaps carried close like something precious. For a moment, he couldn't bring himself to look down at it. His chest rose and fell slowly, heavily, as though the simple act of breathing had suddenly become difficult. The world around him, the gate, the fading light, the quiet evening, seemed to blur into the background, leaving only him, the children, and whatever truth that small piece of paper held. Finally, he lowered his gaze. The image struck him like a force he wasn't prepared for. It was her. His late wife stood in the photograph, her smile soft and full of life, the same smile that used to light up every corner of this house. But it wasn't just her. His breath caught sharply as his eyes moved across the image. She wasn't alone. Her hand rested gently over a visible curve in her abdomen, subtle, but unmistakable. She had been pregnant. A sharp ringing filled his ears. For a second, he thought he might lose his balance. His knees weakened, and he instinctively reached for the gate to steady himself. Memories, questions, regrets, all of it came rushing back at once, too fast, too overwhelming to process. He had left after her death, before he could face the reality of what came next, before he allowed himself to ask what she might have been hiding, or protecting, or planning to tell him. And now, standing in front of him, he slowly lifted his head, his eyes locking onto the tissue children. Everything inside him shifted. The confusion, the disbelief, it began to give way to something deeper, something heavier. Recognition. No, he whispered under his breath, though it didn't sound like denial anymore. It sounded like realization catching up with him too late. The gate no longer felt like a barrier, it felt like the last fragile line between his past and his present. Without thinking, he reached for it and pushed it open. The metal cricked again, but this time the sound seemed louder, more final, as if marking a turning point he could never reverse. He stepped toward them slowly, each movement careful, almost hesitant, as if he feared they might disappear if he came too close. The children didn't step back. They stayed where they were, watching him with quiet patience, their small faces carrying more understanding than they should. When he finally stood in front of them, only a few steps away, the resemblance was undeniable. It wasn't just one feature or another, it was everything. The way they looked at him, the shape of their expressions, even the silence between them felt familiar. His throat tightened. He dropped the suitcase without noticing, the dull thud against the ground barely registering in his mind. Then, slowly, as if guided by something deeper than thought, he lowered himself to his knees in front of them. The polished fabric of his suit pressed against the gravel, but he didn't care. None of it mattered anymore. Tears filled his eyes before he could stop them. For years, he had locked everything away, his grief, his guilt, his love, burying it beneath work, distance, and silence. He had convinced himself that moving on meant forgetting, that leaving this place behind was the only way to survive. But now, all of it came crashing back, breaking through the walls he had built so carefully. "I didn't know," he said, his voice barely more than a whisper, thick with emotion. "I swear, I didn't know." The boy looked at him steadily, his expression serious but not cold. The girl, however, took a small step closer. There was hesitation in her movement, but also courage. Slowly, she reached out, her tiny hand hovering for a second before gently touching his arm. That simple contact shattered whatever restraint he had left. A tear slipped down his cheek, followed by another. He closed his eyes briefly, overwhelmed, then opened them again, afraid that if he didn't, this moment might disappear. He looked at them, not as strangers, not as a mystery, but as something he had lost before he even realized it existed. "Are you?" he began, but the words caught in his throat. He couldn't finish the question. He didn't need to. The boy gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. The world seemed to stop. In that instant, everything changed. The man who had returned believing he had nothing left here now found himself facing the very pieces of life he thought were gone forever. Not memories, not echoes, reality. He let out a shaky breath, his shoulders trembling under the weight of it all. Carefully, as if afraid to break the moment, he opened his arms slightly, not demanding, not forcing, just offering. The children hesitated for only a second before stepping forward. When they moved into his embrace, something inside him finally gave way completely. He held them close, his arms tightening around them as if he were trying to make up for 5 years of absence in a single moment. The warmth of them, the reality of them, it grounded him in a way nothing else could. The mansion behind them no longer felt empty. For the first time in years, it felt like it might become a home again.